Amsterdam is home once again to the International AIDS Conference for the first time in a quarter century. Not only has the city got a rich architectural history, it is also a meeting point for different cultures around the world and has a welcoming attitude towards visitors. Well known for its museums, red light district, coffee shops and a variety of eating and drinking places, plus nightlife. It even claims to be the gay capital of Europe. Hence, a lot of hotels and hostels can be found on different locations, value for money and ambience. All set for AIDS 2018, a city and country committed to fighting the epidemic.
So it's a very, very unique conference. If it's your first time, it's always mind-bending for first-timers because it's not like your average medical conference. And this year, I think the conference in Amsterdam, of course, is the second time it's come to Amsterdam, and the Netherlands has always been at the forefront of the AIDS response.
Its organizer, the International AIDS Society, says the Netherlands is a great example of what happens when a government supports outstanding science and embraces evidence-based HIV programs. All this combined with a robust commitment to human rights.
We're now at the World Conference Center right here in Amsterdam, Netherlands. In fact, we've just landed from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia to cover the 22nd International AIDS Conference 2018 happening in Amsterdam, Netherlands, starting tomorrow. And we've got it, the media pass, and a lot of information for the next 5 weeks.
AIDS 2018, which ran from July 23rd to 27th, is the largest conference on any global health issue in the world. It provides a unique forum for the intersection of science, advocacy, and human rights.
Breaking barriers, building bridges, the 22nd International AIDS Conference in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, is even more challenging than ever before. Why? Because of hard-pressing issues like stigma, discrimination, and key populations which is still plaguing the entire community and government. So let's take a look at what's hot on AIDS 2018.
The fight to end HIV/AIDS was given a boost by a star-studded week of presentations, panel sessions, and the occasional protest.
Now this is what activism is all about, where communities have gathered at the Global Village to show and protest their very strong convictions.
However, tensions within the community remain, and with few new funding pledges announced, there are questions about how to translate strong rhetoric into action.
We need to work towards reforming those policies, because as long as you have laws that can put people in jail just on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity, how are we going to get those communities to come out, get tested, get treated, and in the long run then prevent the transmission of HIV to the rest of the population?
Together we can stop the virus. Now this is exactly what's happening at the International AIDS Conference in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, where a total of 15,000 delegates are flooding the conference halls and this exhibition, which is simply quite phenomenal.
The week-long event was awash with celebrities including Elton John, Charlize Theron, and the United Kingdom's Prince Harry. But the real story of this year's conference was the growing realization that the HIV/AIDS epidemic is in crisis, with 1.8 million new infections in 2017. There are also alarming spikes in new HIV cases among key groups including adolescent girls in Africa and drug users in Eastern Europe and parts of Asia, according to UNAIDS. Development assistance for HIV has dropped $3 billion between 2012 and 2017. Elton John called on international black artists to join in the fight against AIDS.
They owe it to their fellow African Americans that are being beaten up, being ostracized, being castigated by their own community to speak up. right now. Speak up right now and save these people from what they're going through. It is a disgrace and they need to come forward. And until they do, nothing much will change. But these people have it on their conscience to help their fellow man, whether they're black or white or handicapped or whatever they do. These people are in a position to help and they're not doing it. Okay? Thank you.
This is the highlight of Malaysia's involvement in the 22nd International AIDS Conference 2018, happening right here in Amsterdam, Netherlands. A total of 9 speakers will be deliberating on issues pertaining to the theme Breaking Barriers, Building Bridges.
The symposium called on the business community to prevent and protect their workers from HIV/AIDS related problems, stigma and discrimination.
How can we push an agenda of policy reform? So we can start with companies that have good workplace policies. No discrimination towards people living with HIV. In terms of employment, in terms of benefits, and at the same time, how do companies play a role in this disseminating information, correct information to their workforce about HIV. On the policy front and the national agenda, we have a long way to go. Okay, but what we plan to do is then to enact legislation, to have laws to be passed in Parliament, hopefully in 2019, that then compels companies not to discriminate on the basis of HIV status, and it's really something we need to do.
From a labour point of view, people to be able to still contribute, and it shouldn't be on the basis of the HIV status. Right? So, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be acceptable. Particularly because I think it's a matter of education. People are understanding that your status actually doesn't interfere.
There's only 50 companies only that buys with the code of practice since 2010. So, in terms of legalizing the code of practice, we need to look into benchmarking other countries and to look whether the implementation the legalizing aspects of this code of practice can be done in Malaysia or not.
The key now will be turning the strong rhetoric and passion seen throughout AIDS 2018 into action on the ground.
And that's the most important message we can give to all of us the world. If you are living with HIV, take your pills, has a suppression of your viral load, and you cannot transmit to others, which is a huge message for people living with HIV like me, because we are not anymore viral bombs. We are people living with HIV, but we are not in the way to transmit the virus to others.
Meantime, the world needs a renewed focus on prevention, stressing condom use and providing safe, infection-free needles to drug users.
There is a lot going on, and it can be exhausting, but this conference is really wonderful, and it always never fails to invigorate me even after 25 years of being in HIV.